Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast. We are live Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today we will be talking about embracing change, turning transitions into transformations. Today, we'll talk about how to face your personal or professional shifts and learn the mindset and the tools that you need to embrace change as a pathway to growth. Discover how to navigate uncertainty with confidence, overcome fears of the unknown, and turn life's transitions into opportunities for alignment and empowerment. And don't miss this empowering conversation that will inspire you to boldly go into the next chapter of your life and your journey with clarity and grace. Tune in and start mastering the art of change today. Together, let's create a life you love. I'm your host, Nanci Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive breakthrough expert. I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to inspire and empower you to change your lives. And if this show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling, it is for educational purposes only. So, all about change. And I see that we have Allie in the house. Good morning, Allie. And I had some questions from last week's show that I want to get to before we jump into this week's show. And if there is, I'm doing a disclaimer, if there is a question that you asked last week and we didn't, I'm not getting it or I don't have it, please, you feel free to put the question in the chat today. And of course, if you have questions about today's topic, definitely put the questions in. And I also want you to know that the topic we're doing today came from something that someone put in the chat last week. So I hear you, just want to let you know. Okay, so Anastasia asked, how do we know what we really want? So you know what you really want by being quiet and listening to your heart, listening and asking the questions. Ask yourself, what do I really want? And it's in the quietness and in the silence when you can quiet your mind enough and get out of the head chatter, talk mode, that you can really hear or feel or sense what your wants really are, what your path is, what the next step is. And I really want you all to know that you all have it in you. You have answers within you that are waiting for you to ask the questions and allow yourself to receive the answers. And so, Anastasia, it's about listening and listening to yourself and really hearing those wants, those needs, or perhaps next steps. And maybe you're not exactly sure what the next step is or what that want or need is, but there's something you're being guided to do in the moment, like make a telephone call or read a certain book or listen to a show. Those can give you the answers. So, Anastasia, I hope that helped you, and I hope that helped all of you, because I'm sure everyone that's asking a question is asking for more than just you. So thank you. Thank you for asking your questions. And then Country Corners Gazette asks, Gazette, is there a place to find that path? And are there forks in the road? So the place to find your path, and this leads right into change and transitions that we're going to be talking about today, is there are forks in the road. And you are a choice what fork you take. Now, no, any fork you take will be for growth and transition and will teach you. There will be learning opportunities no matter which fork you take. And what I do, and the way that I like to handle those forks in the road, is I ask, what's for my highest good? Which path will lead me down the path for my highest and greatest good or highest good? And then I take steps on that path so that I'm listening to that small, still voice within. And that is the wisdom of your soul, the wisdom of your deeper self that wants to come through. And we're going to be talking more about what would keep you from even walking the path of one fork or the other. And what I support you all in doing is keeping in mind and continuing to ask yourself, is this my highest path? Is this the path for my greatest growth? And it doesn't always mean it's the easy path. Okay, so I just want you to know. Doesn't always mean easy, but it means greatest growth and for your highest good. So know that Earth School, we're all in school together, okay? Everyone on this planet is in Earth School, okay? And you came here for a reason. You came here to learn, to grow as a soul, and to allow yourself to move towards the life that you were destined for. And know when you ask for your highest good and you take those steps, that can lead you on the path or the fork in the road. And I really want to remind you, either fork is going to lead you to growth. Okay, so if you choose it, what do you can ask the questions. What am I learning from this experience? And what do I need to do to keep growing? Okay, so I see that question from Mickey. And before I get to Mickey's question, I just want to say that Anastasia asked, change is difficult at times. And you know what? Change can be difficult at times. But as we go deeper into the show, we are going to help you start looking at change and transitions in new ways. And that's what I really want to support you in. Yay. Anastasia says thank you. Okay, so let's get to Mickey's question, okay? So Mickey asked, where did that wisdom come from and how can we hear it? So Mickey, what happens is that I really believe the universe or God or higher power, whatever you choose to call that energy that is greater than you, is constantly talking to you. It's constantly communicating and sending messages that will guide you on a path towards your highest good. And what your job is and what your task is to be able to quiet your mind enough to hear, to listen, and to be aware of the information that's coming through that wants to come through to you, that is coming through to you. And your task is to be able to hear it or to feel it or to know it, because that's how your intuitive senses work. You can hear or feel or see or sense or know. And the wisdom is coming from that deep place within you. That part of you, your soul, that is the core energy, essence of who you are, your light, your love. And that's where the wisdom is. Now, sometimes you get help from spirit guides and angels and other beings of light that are here to help you on the way, to listen to your soul. And so what I really want to support you in knowing, Mickey, and all of you, what I want to support you in knowing is that the messages are there. The wisdom is there. And it's about quieting your mind and listening to the thoughts. Now, sometimes you may have thoughts and you think, oh, that's not really my soul, or that's not really my heart's wisdom, and you discount it. And the truth is, yes, that was your heart's wisdom. Yes, that was your soul talking. And so what I really want to support you in doing is being open, being curious that perhaps you really are hearing or feeling or sensing or knowing the wisdom. And what if you were able to allow yourself to be in that journey rather than discounting it? And we're going to be talking today about why you may resist listening or hearing or feeling the messages that are coming through. Because like I said, it doesn't always mean that it can be easy, but it's for your highest good. Okay. Misty says, finding the quiet place is the hard part. And you know what, Misty? I get. Okay, I'm back. Hello, everybody. Yes, I am back. I want to support all of you in finding the ways that quiet. So, and I'm not saying quieting your mind. It's I believe it's one of our greatest challenges in this society that we live in. Because there are so many distractions. Okay, let's just face it. You got distractions from the phone, the TV. You have distractions. You have distractions from family and friends. And not to say that family and friends are distractions, but they can be. Okay? If you allow them to be. And so learning to quiet your mind takes practice. And I want you all to know that you can do it. It can be done. And it takes practice. Remember, it's not perfection, but it's progress on the journey. That's what I want you to know. So it's even if those moments of one moment of silence or quietness of mind can give you the answer you've been waiting for. I want to remind you of that. Okay. One moment of silence can give you the answer you've been waiting for. So it doesn't mean you have to quiet your mind 24/7. It can be even for a few moments. And then you get the mind chatter and then you work on coming back. That is the journey of the quiet mind. And know that even if you touch that quietness, as I said, for a moment, profound answers and healing can come in that one moment. And it's being in that journey of continuing to work on quieting your mind and learning to make being in stillness okay, because being in stillness can be part of that fear of change and transition. And we're going to talk more about that very shortly after I have answered Charles's question. So let's get to Charles's question. And then I will, okay. So we may all be in Earth School together, but many are not in the same grade. How is it some people don't achieve like others? Okay, so yes, Charles, you're right. We're all in this together, but we're not all in the same grade. That was cute. What happens is that each one of you as a soul. Some of you have come to Earth School many times. Some of you may be really new at Earth School and you're learning. And it doesn't mean you didn't learn in other places, but you're learning on this planet now. And so it's taking it, just knowing, accepting where you are at in your grade. Okay. And I also want you to remember, and this is really important. So you may be one person, maybe, let's say, in college, and another one in high school, and another one in elementary school. And so you may be in different grades, but I want you all to know that you're not getting graded. Okay. So no matter where you are in Earth School, it's not about the grades you're getting, because there's no A, B, C's, and D's and F's, okay? What all of it means is there are learning opportunities for each of you, no matter what grade you're in. So learning opportunities for each of you, no matter what grade you're in. Can you pose Charles's question again? I want to get to the other part of it. How is it some people don't achieve like others? Okay. So the reason why some people don't achieve like others, there's several reasons. There's one reason is that on a soul level, if you're, let's say, in elementary school and you know somebody in college, the person in college has more soul wisdom, and so they may be able to achieve the goals more easily. Or, okay, so I want you all to know it doesn't mean that ease. It means that you're able to move through obstacles. Also, remember that part of the journey is overcoming the obstacles and challenges. And what that means is going deeper inward, understanding and exploring and healing. And healing the obstacles, healing the challenges so that you can move through them with better grace and ease. And every single one of us are going to have some type of challenge or obstacle on the path of Earth School. So it doesn't matter what grade you're in, it's going to be there. And even souls that have decided, oh, I'm going to have an easy life. And usually, we decide before we come in how many obstacles and challenges we're going to have, and or is this going to be an easier life? Now, some souls choose an easier life, but honestly, being on the human form, I can't imagine that you're not going to have challenges or obstacles in some way or other. And also, I just want you to realize that we all came in at this time. And this is a major time of transition, not only for each of you individually, but for us as a country, if you live in America, and even if you don't, there is change and transition in every country on this planet. Because as a species of humanity, this is time for change and transition. And so know that it's about learning to keep healing and growing and overcoming those changes. So hopefully, Charles, I answered your question. If you have any other pieces around that, or Misty or Anastasia or Mickey, let me know if you have any other questions around anything that I just said. So let's jump into change and transition, okay, since we're talking about that. And I was talking about it where we each have personal change and transition, and we have mass change and transition in each of your countries, in each of your states, in each of your experiences. Charles says, I believe you covered it. Thank you, Charles. Okay, cool. So we have change and transition for humanity. So there's a lot of change and transition going on for you personally and for the world. And it could be personal change and it could be professional change and transition. All of it leads to different challenges, possibilities, opportunities. And some people associate change and transition with crisis, and it could be a crisis. I mean, there are people in this country and in the world that are facing crises now, whether because of natural disasters or war. There are many challenges and crises happening. But it's very interesting that the Chinese symbol, and in Chinese, the language is symbols. And the symbol for crisis equals opportunity. And so what that means is that every crisis, every challenge, every obstacle you face is a possibility for transformation and an opportunity for growth. And really, it's all about how you perceive it, how you deal with it, and what you need to do in order to overcome it. And that's what we're going to be talking about more. So, and know that transitions, they can be scary, they can be challenging, and they can be your greatest opportunity for transformation. That's where the word opportunity comes in. And sometimes the greatest challenges lead to those greatest opportunities. And I'll give you an example. So years ago, I was working as a social worker in Jewish community centers, and I lost my job at one community center as a social worker. But the first time I lost my job, and it was because of budget cuts, and I was like, I'm never going back to full-time social work. That was what I needed. Okay. So there are a lot of social workers out there and people out there working full-time. So this is me. This is my journey. But what I did was I use it as an opportunity. And so I decided to get two part-time jobs. So I got one part-time job as a social worker in another Jewish community center. And then I started doing marketing for an architect. Totally different, but it gave me opportunities to do different things. And then years later, I ended up getting let go of the other social work job because of budget cuts. And what happened was it gave me the opportunity. That is when my private practice started beginning. I started getting referrals. I was ready. I was ready for that change. I was ready for that transition. But when I lost my job, I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I didn't know. I was really scared of the change and the transition. So I just really want to support you. It's not about disowning your feelings. It's about moving through the feelings, all the feelings that come up, whether it's fear or anger. I was angry. How dare they let me go? I can't believe it. And I was scared. I was angry. And I was also in grief because it was a loss. I was losing something that I had known. And yes, I went on unemployment and I didn't know what was next. I knew what I had always wanted because being in my own practice and doing my own thing and then doing speaking, and it was all part of the journey. And the universe stepped in. And sometimes you don't always know, but it's about being open and willing to see what opportunities unfold and what opportunities arise from the transition and the changes that are happening in your life. And you can pray and you can ask. So even if you don't believe in God, but maybe you believe in a higher power, or maybe you believe in universal light, or angels or guides, ask. Even ask your soul, ask your higher self, any kind of asking. I want you to all know that it's really important to ask because we have free will. When we ask, the universe and all the beings, including our higher self, our soul, the angels, guides, can step in and support us in ways they couldn't if we didn't ask. So I want you all to know, you cannot ask too much. Asking is a great thing. Asking for help, asking for support, asking for the next step or steps. First step, start with one step because I don't want you to go into overwhelm. So just ask for the next step. So for me, the next step was accepting the referrals I was getting. And then I had an office space. I had office space, I had referrals, and I started my private practice. And it grew. And now it's been almost 20 years and I'm in another transition now. I was telling you in other shows that from being a holistic psychotherapist, I've been transitioning into being an intuitive coach and a trainer, and I've been training. So I'm doing coaching and training now. And in another transition. So I'm in transition with you, okay? And what I've learned is that it is an opportunity. It's definitely an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for possibilities that you may be on the path of your dreams, and taking that next step may be the path that you've needed or wanted, and you don't even know, you may not even know right away that you're on it, but just take that step. Just take the step. One step at a time can still lead you through the door. And I even talk about baby steps. Even if it's a baby step, that baby step will still help you to move you towards where you're destined to be. And yes, I said destined because I really believe that even when you have forks in the road, from that question earlier, you may go down one path, but if you have a certain destiny, that opportunity will come up again and again and again. And if you feel like, oh, I missed my opportunity, another one can come around again. And I also want to support you in knowing that sometimes you may think it's one way when maybe it's another. And you may think the opportunity looks like, okay, so I'll give you an example. So here's the thing. And I've told this story before, but I feel like it has relevance. But before I tell the story, and I see a question came in too, before I tell the story of my 14-year-old, I want to share with you my masterclass info. And I have a question from Country Corners Gazette, so we'll take that question as well. So I want to let you know that tonight, yes, tonight, we are starting the 3 steps to boost your income in your holistic business. So if you are a woman and you really want to move into being and boosting your income in your holistic business, if you're a coach, a healer, a therapist, or an entrepreneur, or a helping professional, and you want to increase your profit in your business or in your practice, join the masterclass tonight. It's tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And what we're going to be doing is you are going to be discovering your soul's calling. You're going to be learning about your vision, what your heart is telling you and guiding you to do. You're going to learn how to break free from limiting beliefs about you earning more money. And you're going to learn how to get into action and what you need to do in order to create more money in your holistic business. And even if you don't have a holistic business yet, but you would like to go into one, this class is still for you. And if you're a male who wants to go into a holistic business or is in one, then you can email me at nancid.me. You go to nancid.me and you can do the contact form. So I want to support all of you. You all have a destiny. And this masterclass, you go to the masterclass. So you're going to go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass. Inspired and empowered living.com /masterclass. Okay. So I really look forward to having you join us. Now, I'm going to tell I see the question, and I am going to answer the question after my story. So, because I want to share my 14-year-old story, and then we'll get to Country Corners Gazette's question. So, 14 years old, and I started thinking about, okay, what am I here to do? What am I going to do in my life? And now here's the thing. I want you to apply this story, whether you're 14 or whether you're 24, 54, 84. I don't care. Yes, even 84. All right. And you're still wondering, what am I doing in my life? Because it doesn't matter your age. Remember, you're in our school. So age doesn't matter because our souls are eternal. So, and I asked my aunt, should I be a psychologist or an actress? Because there was something inside of me that I love to be on stage. I love to share or be out there. And what's really funny, and I just also really want you all to know, not only I love to share and be on stage, but I will also tell you I can be really shy too. Okay. So I can go both ways. I can be a big introvert, but I can also be a big extrovert. So I asked my aunt that, and she said, you better be a psychologist because there's too many starving actresses. So I went on the path of psychology. Now, but in college, my minor was speech communications and theater. So I always had some draw towards being out there and being in the public eye or whatever. I didn't know how it was going to manifest. And then what I've realized now is that even though I'm not an actress, I'm on stage. Hey, you're watching me now, or you're hearing me now. And that it didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like, but I'm doing it. And yes, there was a fork in the road, and I got guided by my aunt at the time, which I really believe it was the universe talking through my aunt, guiding me in this certain direction, because I do believe that I ended up on the right path of being able to move towards my destiny, which I believe I'm living, and I'm still in those transitions. So I really want you all to know that you may have gotten a bit or a piece of what you're here to do or what you think might be the next steps, but you're not sure. And you just got to just take the next step and the next step and the next step. And know you're going to be guided in the direction. And if there's two forks in the road, no matter what fork you take, there's a destiny there. I really believe, even if it takes longer, if you allow yourself to be open, to be curious, and to be willing to be on the journey, you will get where you need to go. So I just really want to support you all in remembering that. Okay, Country Corners Gazette. What's that question? Does it really come around again, or is it different? Okay, so it can come around again it may not come around as the exact same opportunity. Now, sometimes it can be the same opportunity, but from a different company or a different person, but it's a similar opportunity. And or it may look different. It may look very different. It may look a little different or very different. And if your intuition is guiding you, even if it looks different, but you're being guided. And when I say guided, that's the intuition. You may feel it. You may sense it. You may know it. You may hear it. You may have a sense or a seeing of it. I've had visions of my future. And some of these visions haven't even come to pass. But I know I'm moving in that direction. And the visions have come to me because spirit, universe, God, angels, whatever I choose to call it, and my soul wants me to know this is your destiny. Oof. Got the chills on that one. So if I have it, you have it. And know that the communication can come. It may not only come from your inner, you may get signs and symbols. You could see a license plate or a truck that can move you in the right direction. You can, maybe the show is giving you a sign or a symbol or answering a question. Maybe a book. I've had clients say books have fallen off the shelf. They opened it up and there was the answer to that question. Maybe it's that person. Maybe it's your aunt or uncle or parent or child, even children from the mouths of babes. You never know where it's going to come, or adult children. You never know where the path will lead you and where the path will come. But I want to support you all in knowing it's taking the step, taking that step towards the change and transition that may seem really scary. And we're going to talk more about how to overcome those changes and transitions. So know that and this is coming from my belief, you could take this or leave this. I do believe that when you have a destiny, somehow, some way, it will come around again. Now, it may look different. Or like for me, I wasn't meant to be an actress, but I'm meant to be on stages, and I'm not. And I also want you to know, I'm not saying never, because who knows? I don't know what my future, maybe I will someday. Right now, I'm teaching and sharing my wisdom and my knowledge, and I love it. I love doing this with you. And I really want you all to know, when you ask your questions, it really fills my heart, because I want to answer your questions. I want you to learn. I want you to grow. And I love sharing and teaching. And that I know is my destiny. And I love that it came from the perspective of, I didn't go psychologist. Here's another one before we end, because I got guided by my cousin who said, go for social work instead of psychology. And that was also the universe speaking to me. And so I went for social work rather than psychology. And when I entered social work school, and I didn't know this until right before I needed to apply to social work schools. And I started applying and I got in. And I want you to know that when I went into my first week of social work school, it was like, I'm exactly where I need to be. This was the profession that I needed to be in. That this was part of my destiny. And it was like, I just, like I really felt like the hand, the guides, I was being guided in the right direction. And I really want to support you all in knowing that perhaps you're being guided and maybe you don't even realize it, that there's a higher force, a higher destiny in action for all of you. And you can be and are being guided. And even when you don't even realize it, it is happening. And the most important thing for you is to remember, be open, be curious, be willing to be on the journey. And so today we talked about change and transitions. We began the conversation. And we began the conversation, and not to avoid feelings, all the feelings that come with change and transitions, but to allow yourself to move through them so that you can allow yourself to open to what's next. Because when you're in the feelings, you can shut yourself down. So keep moving, keep breathing, and allowing yourself to move through it all. And I really want you to know the universe, your soul, is on your side. And to keep asking for help and support. And know that you are being answered. Even when you feel like you're not, you're being heard and you are being answered. Doesn't always seem like you are, but it is happening. So we're going to be talking more about this next week. We're going to continue this show next week. And so more about embracing change and transitions, turning transitions into transformations. And so I want to remind any of you for the masterclass, join us. 3 steps to boost your income in your holistic business. And you can go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass, the name of the show, .com/masterclass. And join us next week for more inspired and empowered living on W4WN.com, and talk4tv.com, my YouTube channel. And for the podcast, we're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. And I look forward to connecting with you more next week. Have an inspired and empowered day and an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one. Bye for now.